Good afternoon to everyone. This is the power of healing with Utabi. Ketelo. I promised myself that I wouldn't be working today because I'm really tired exhausted from yesterday's work. So ngikhathele. Excuse me if I'm a bit slow, but ngikhathele, yeah. So yeah, the reason why I decided to be live. I actually remembered I was watching Facebook and I was on Facebook. Then I saw a video, guys, that's worrying. This healer was talking about something else, and then she times herself. Okay, I'm going to teach you guys for 5 minutes. I get worried when people time themselves in terms of explaining something because umuntu akayichazi kahle ufuna ukuyibrusha phezulu and rush to finish without people actually understanding what you're really talking about. I'm not perfect, nor do I try to be perfect. But we need to teach abantu and clarify things. Ungayisho bese uyayishiya lapho and then people start agreeing with you. Ungayichazanga kahle. So I got worried when I looked at this video, guys, because uhlanganise umdliwa, wahlanganiswa isithunywa, wahlanganisa izizwe. I was like, okay, I those the three go together, but I mean that's my own opinion. Okay. And then so yeah, guys, be careful that don't think umuntu yazi because English is fluent. We have a problem with we are all, people are educated out there. I don't want to lie to you. People are very fluent in grammar in English, and so when umuntu presents something and they are very fluent in the language, guys, does not mean lo muntu uyayazi into akhuluma ngayo. So as I say, people have studied, guys. People are learned. They went to school. Bahlale desk. But then when you start saying to me, mina ngifundiswe by ugobela wami, I begin to question, did you ever go back to your spirit guides and question them, is it correct or not? Because I need to, we get ilende from them. We get instructions from them. So when uzokufundiswa ugobela, but then we end there, ukuthi mina ekuthwaseni ugobela what, and you don't learn more wena, then you are in trouble. Because umuntu, I said this a lot of times, umuntu uzokufundisa into ayifundisiwe naye. It is your duty to go and uyifunisise. Because you need to grow in this gift. I end up where you are taught by this person. Your spirit guides need to explain some of the things and clarify some of the things so that noma uzoyixoxela abantu noma uzotshela umuntu ukuthi unezizwe, understand ukuthi ukhuluma ngani. Ma uzokhuluma nomuntu ukuthi unomdliwa, understand ukuthi ukhuluma ngani. Ungayikhi phezulu. Okay, so I got worried when I saw this video on Facebook. Okay. Yeah, as I said, guys, a level of English does not mean umuntu uyayazi into akhuluma ngayo. I said this, I think when I started my videos, I said, I don't want to make perfect videos. I want people to learn. Akuzukungisiza ukuthi my videos are perfect. Kanti anfundi lutho. All right. So I'm going to talk about izizwe, or the spirit of izizwe. As idlozi is a spirit of an ancestor who has not crossed over or settled down, idlozi elisadinga ukulungisela ligezwe. That is why sithi thina yidlozi. Alikangeni estagini samathonga ngoba alikalungiselwa libekwe endaweni right. That's idlozi. Same is with izizwe. Izizwe is a spirit. It is a spirit that goes into somebody's mental or psychological state and takes control over. Now, there's a difference, and I spoke about this later. So what makes me actually remember to do this video, because I remember that I said in Zoyen's video about izizwe, when I spoke about people hearing voices. There are different types of voices that we hear. There are different types of abalozi that we hear. Ngifuna ukunichazela ukuthi izizwe zizwa kanjani. Kunabantu who would say, I have somebody speaking to me, telling me, especially with, it happens sometimes with kids, it happens with abantu abadala. You'd find somebody abulala umuntu and asathi bangitshelile ukuthi ngikwenze. When you ask ukuthi utshela ubani, athi bayakhuluma nami bayangitshela ukuthi ngenzeni. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. There are people who are in that state. There are people who would say they are not in control of their actions when they hear this voice, because it has taken over their psychological state or their mental state. So uthola umuntu athi so it affects your mental stability, right? So you become unstable in terms of controlling your thoughts. Now, your thoughts and your actions. Now, sometimes when you go to a psychiatrist, when you go to a psychologist, they would say to you, une bipolar. Sometimes it is bipolar in terms of medics, or in terms of an ailment, and sometimes it is izziwe, guys. Okay, akufani. So you get this person is hallucinating. Hallucination is when you hear voices, when you hear this person talking to you. A lot of people will confuse it with idlozi. And some people bathi bayothwasa because ngizwile labantu bakhuluma now. Let me explain this. This is not your family. This is not idlozi from your family. Izizwe poses itself as idlozi from the family, but it's actually not. It is a spirit that is sent to you. Now, okay. Where was I? So it poses itself as idlozi lasekhaya, telling you things. But when umuntu listens to what you are saying, you can tell ukuthi lento has absolutely nothing to do nabantu bala ekhaya. Akuhlangani into engizwa kulo muntu ayikhuluma nento labantu bala ekhaya bayiyo. So therefore is pose as idlozi la ekhaya, is pose as a familiar spirit to you, so that izokwazi take over your spiritual being and your physical being. Yeah. So yeah. Now people hear voices. Yeah. These voices will command you to do certain things. These voices will command you to act in a certain way. These people are forever they have a conversation. Sometimes you find somebody having a conversation with themselves, answering themselves, responding. Actually, they are responding to these voices without them being consciously aware that they are responding to these voices. Kunezinto esizizwayo, guys, and I think I forgot to write this down. There's a lot of ways in which people can sense spirit, guys, and one of them is through phones, and people are not aware of this. Phones way too are more than capable of harming us. Okay. The sounds that you hear, I always say to people, you need to cleanse yourself. You need to protect yourself. Meaning you need to protect your ears. You need to protect your eyes. You need to protect your nose, your ears, your eyes, your nose. Why? I spoke. I think there was a video that I did, and I spoke about animal sounds that we hear at night. And your intuition will say to you, vuga utandaze, or vuga do something. It's very important to protect your ears. Izizwe, it's not something umuntu, or sometimes some people okay, bayisebenzisa ngendlela ehlukile. Let me start with this. Then you hear these sounds ebusuku, you hear these sounds ebusuku. It end up recorded in your brain, the sound. So you know the sound. And for some reason, every day when you are asleep, you hear the sound. Okay? Every day when you are asleep, you hear the sound. It starts being a part of you now. You hear it now, but we use ebusuku, now it goes on to being heard emini. Now it's becoming a part of you. That should worry you. I'm constantly hearing this sound, whether it's sort of like a song. Kunabalozi, kunezizwe. Those are two different. Kunabalozi that we say come in a form of twittering and no bits. And then izizwe, they also come in a whistle, ne? In a whisper. Izizwe uyakwazi ukuzizwa ngomlozi, uyakwazi ukuyithola ngomlozi, sorry, uyakwazi ukuyithola ngokuhletshelwa. Uzwe into ihleba kuwe, uzwe this voice iyahleba kuwe. And you ignore it, because what happens is that as you hear this thing, you'll begin to think, maybe I'm thinking too much. You hear things, this thing is telling you things day and night. Maybe I'm thinking too much, maybe I'm thinking too much. In the meantime, as you start responding to this thing in terms of you now directing your energy to it. I wanted to say something before you call. Yeah, as you direct your lento to it, it becomes lento. Sometimes you get people, always, there's this friend, othanda whisper in your ears. They whisper in your ears. They whisper in your ears. It's not even necessary now. They love whispering in your ears. You must be careful, guys, of what people do. The contact we have with people, guys. I spoke about the transfer of energy. This transfer of energy has been I had somebody, as I say, I had somebody explaining transfer of energy, and I was like, damn, Jehovah. Okay, so this transfer, you get a call, and then this call, akhulumi muntu. Sometimes you hear this sort of like umoya blowing through that phone. Akhulumi muntu, understand? Akhulumi, okay. And then it ends up, even if I sayenzekile call, but you still now what happens is now your spiritual space has been invaded. Lama calls, even noma ngasayenzeki, so uyawezwa wena ngokwakho awasenzeki, kodwa so ayaqhubeka kuwe, sewayenzeka spiritually. That means your spiritual space has been invaded. Now a lot of times abantu abafaka izizwe, or in most cases, uthola lo muntu, kunabantu abathi yazi lo muntu so sesimjwayele ekhaya. I had a very sad story, guys. Or I was involved in a very sad story where I'm going to share it. Angifuni ukunikeza too much details. Uma mncane athi, ayi usisi wami always makuzoba nento ekhaya uyahamba angazi ukuthi ukuphi, uyahamba. So in her explanation, she said to me, idlozi lamhambisa, it's not idlozi. Athi, guess what? Uhambile lo muntu, she was gone for 3 weeks. In the midst of her not being known ukuthi ukuphi, umntanakhe washona. Obviously, ifoni beyicimiwe or ifoni beyenze njani, but on that day bamthola, bomtshela ukuthi umntanakhe ushonile. Mabamtshela ukuthi umntanakhe ushonile, uza nomuntu abahlangane naye kwenye indawo. Lo muntu wahamba wayohlala nalo mama endlini yakhe, akamazi lo mama, abahlobenanga nalo mama. So some people have that tendency, umuntu uyahamba inyanga kuthiwa hayi simjwayele loyo, nokulahleka. Guys, yini lemlahlayo emkhiphe endlini azayo? Lo mama, mind you, had only one dress that she was wearing that day. Ulgqokele all these 3 weeks angekho kwakhe. It was very sad, guys. The story was very sad. So abantu abekho aware, because we are ignorant of certain things. We think siyamazi ihlanya lasekhaya leli uyayihambela ayibuyeli. Guys, akunahlanya lasekhaya la. So it's something that is driving her. Ithi hamba uyenza lokhu, hamba uthuka loya muntu. Yazi, have you ever been in a situation where uthi uyaphuma uhlangane nomuntu akuthuke nje? Yeah, wena ungihlebile ngikuzwile izolo, and you're like, angimazi lo muntu. Things are happening out there, guys. So this voice commands you, this voice tells you what to do, this voice. And sometimes the person on alentole is very aggressive. They're very aggressive because manje they cannot respond to many commands. Unale that's taken over. Unenkani. When they tell you ukuthi, I had a colleague, but I won't go into details. When they tell you ukuthi angifuni ukugeza, akadlali akafuni ukugeza, because it's told awugezi namhlanje. Now you get people athi umuntu, as I said, doctors will say to you umuntu bipolar. Yes, it does appear as a bipolar in terms of the science side of it, right? So As I said, it does come and affect you as it goes. So one will get confused. Omunye umuntu azahamba ayothwasa only to find out kungalutho la. Nazi izinto uyazizwa, nayi iyamtshela ukuthi wenzeni. And for some reason, sometimes you get that they even mix izinto wrong. Now then, izizwe, guys, can affect you in such a way that umuntu umthola abhema into engabhenywa. Understand? Some people would say, no, weed helps me out. Insangu iyangisiza kulama voices. You are actually increasing it even more because now you're dragging yourself into becoming that thing masowubhemile. Basically what happens is masowubhemile unayo lento, it comes to life. What happens now, omunye umuntu, guys, izizwe, umuntu onezizwe, mind you, does not mean akakwazi ukuba normal. It's not something that happens 24/7. Iyeza iphele lento abe ngconywana. Nithi nisabhekile ukuthi okay, awu kuze kwaphela maybe 2 hours engconywana iqale futhi asnaphe or abe yenye into futhi. It's not something esithi thina they've in control now. As I remember saying, abantu izinto zenziwa ngesikhathi ne guys. Kunezinto ezicontrolwa ilanga, which is the sun. Kunezinto that are controlled by the moon. Now, what happens with every spirit or deity or demon that we carry, as soon as kuba na this change in the sun or in the moon, umuntu iyamshintsha lento. That's why I said, lo mama lo, for that time nje uvele wahamba not knowing, she was at home, sitting at home endlini yakhe, but kwafika lesikhathi ukuthi sekufanele ahambe. Akusinto eyenzeka noma kanjani, it could depend with the energy vibrations of nature, and especially the sun and the moon. Guys, it's either you are connected to the moon, or you are connected to the sun. And this is why I always remind people about spiritual coding. Okay. So yeah, you get that umuntu wakhona uyaba right. Nibe ni serious conversation, they are very brilliant. Ube ne serious conversation nomuntu, and then all of a sudden they're no longer themselves. Umuntu axoxela nje ukuthi uyambona lo mntwana, uyambona wenzani, you, and in their vision bayambona lo mntwana, uyadlala. Yazi ungitshela ukuthi umuntu ahleke nje eyedwa. This thing, it's very sad if ithunyelwe enganeni. It's very sad when the spirit has been sent to a child, because then children have imaginary friends, right? So as a parent now, you're not sure whether this is just an imaginary friend noma yizizwe lezi. Because we do know that at some age a child would have, it is actually normal for a child to have an imaginary friend or imaginary life. Okay, and this is sometimes caused by what the cartoons they watch on TV, the fairy tales that they watch. So initially, but kunomehluko between izizwe now, not this. So as I said, lo muntu uyashintsha amandla akhe abe like maseka aggressive abe isilwane. You need to understand ukuthi hallucination is very, very real. It's there. As much as we would query, we would like get lento angry when people say abantu abanobungoma, they're hallucinating. We get upset, yes, but then we need to understand ukuthi now people are confused ukuthi is it just ubungoma ngempela, which is idlozi, or sekuyizizwe? Because as much as sinabantu who are gifted, sinabantu who think that due to this, and sometimes if uthola umuntu ongakwazi ukuyidetecta lento ukuthi lento le ayihambisani nalento lo muntu ukuthi atho nayo, so this person would think ukuthi nginedlozi, you understand? Kunama-signs womuntu, guys, or spiritually gifted, or umuntu one-calling, unama-signs wakhe. And then ma umuntu who's especially oyi-healer, you need to know ukuthi which signs to look for or look at. What dreams do you really need to look at and understand ukuthi iyaphi? As I say, it's very important that your ancestral spirits or your spirit guides bayakuthumela endaweni, or ngikhulume nabo kuqala before ngizokhuluma nawe. It's very important ukuthi ngikhulume nama-spirit guides wakho kuqala, or ama-ancestral spirits kuqala before ngizobonana nawe. So with mediumships, how we work, sifuna iy'bongo. Angithi in most cases sifuna iy'bongo. Why sifuna iy'bongo? Before you come to consultation, already have consulted with your people. Already ngiyabazi labantu, siyazi ukuthi mina nabo sizoxabana up to how far? Sizoxabana kangakanani. By the time you get to my space, I'm familiar with who you sort of like the spirits that I'm supposed to work with. Because guys, it does happen that umuntu angene uvele ugule nje. So you need to prep beforehand. So yeah, as I said, guys, you need to be very careful ukuthi umamelani, kanjani, kubani. Don't just have calls are weird wena. And now this is, yes, Gogo, I've had this calls is weird for more than a month. Are you worried? It's more than a month. Yeah, you've got to, because sometimes now these calls, the spirit is taken over in such a way that you hear these calls now. Futhi so yazi ukuthi yazi kune-call ezongena ngo-7. Even normally you're calling ingasayingeni automatically. Seyiyangena spiritually because your space has been invaded. Okay. And omunye umuntu bathi lo muntu la akafuni nikuthi uyavuka nje ekuseni ahamba ayohlala endaweni ethize done. Vuka ekuseni ahamba ayohlala endaweni ethize done. Ahamba ayohlala endaweni ethize done. Vuka ekuseni ahamba. That's life for him, or that's life for her. And funny enough, they are very comfortable with that space. Now there was a video that was circulating, I think 2 weeks or a week back. This lady would go to, I think it's not even here in South Africa, but this lady goes to the bush, ayo jive, ayo dance, and does spiritual dancing. And people would say, yeah, I know, unedlozi. There's a difference between unedlozi or a dance of the spirit. Why does this person master a dance of the spirit, a space in a secluded? Aiwani. And that different things that we come across, that different spirits that we come across. Not every spirit is your ancestral spirit. Not every spirit is part of your entourage. Not every spirit is part of your spirit guides. Not every spirit or not every dream that you see is part of the water elements. Not or the other elements one would have in terms of spirits of the light. Akusiwo zonke. Not every dream you have, abantu abadala trying to talk to you. Some dreams are actually saying, wake up, be aware of your space. There is an invasion happening. You need to know, you need to differentiate. It's very amazing when we are spiritually awakened, because you can actually identify ukuthi yabona manje le esengiyiphupha ayihambi kahle. Akusiyiyo nje. You understand? So you need to be aware of these things. You need to be aware of these things, and you need ukuthi usizwe before it gets out of hand. Ayikho into ebuhlungu njengokukhipha ispirit esesicomfortable emuntwini for years. Now you have to deal with that yourself, and now we end up getting sick. Guys, I had a consultation where the following morning I felt like committing suicide myself, not even knowing ukuthi ngizobe ngikhomithiselani, but that's how, when we say we get into spiritual battle after consultations, as I say to you guys, we don't tell you the truth of the journey. See, sintshela nje lokhu that okuhle, but we don't tell. You get sick in such a way what is happening. You have a consultation nomuntu, and then that same night you find yourself choking the whole night. It's not an easy thing. Why am I teaching you this? So that you know it's not about the money. And finding ukuthi, I had this interesting conversation. I've been having this interesting conversation about how consultations fees get to happen, and ngizoyenza video about that. But I want to explain something. I got to understand why abantu bazocharge abantu 6,000, 7,000. 8,000 for things because you know what after treating this person zizokhala kuwe kuningi guys. People know good after helping this person I know zizokhala kimi. So now the consolation to everything that I'm going to go through ile mali. The gift itself is not about money, but when you look at things that you go through, that is why you find people now being greedy. Which angizukusafara kangaka for abantu and yet I'm not getting anything. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope you do understand what izizwe is. And I hope you become aware of things that you hear. Protect your ears, protect your eyes, protect your nose. When I say protect, I always speak about alignment in such a way that ngisafuna ukunitshela about alignment. But once you've protected those things, because ezinye izinto they get into us through smell, ezinye through what we see, you record. There's this video that I made about the flow of communication. You see, and it records. You need to know what information to take away. Okay? You need to know what things to see and avoid. Uh, I had this client of mine, and I'm sorry that I'm talking about it. But we saw something yesterday, Manzin, and she said to me, Coco, I couldn't sleep. And I said, that is why when you go do rituals and things, focus on what you're doing. Guys. So you need to protect yourself because once lento uyi-replaya, so yeah, thank you so much, guys, and I hope you do get helped, and I hope also you do seek for help mawubona ama-signs angaqondakali in your life. Thank you.